Hey, it's Sarah here. I hope you can see and hear me okay. I'll just double check that this is working and has appeared because Facebook, it sometimes has a mind of its own. So let's just have a little look in here. See. Yes, I can see myself. So hopefully you all can too. My name's Sarah Stevens. I'm a luxury travel concierge. I'm Sarah Stevens Escapes for those of you who haven't met me before. And I suddenly realised I had a light bulb moment a few weeks ago when I actually realised that most of my friends all love to travel too. And there are lots of my friends who've been to some amazing destinations and who quite often travel more than I actually do. So I'm really, really excited that one of those friends, my dear friend Lisa, has agreed to jump on today to chat travel with you all. So if you're tuning in, please say hello in the comments. Let me know who's watching. Feel free to ask us any questions or as we go along or make comments if we're talking about places you've been to. We'd love a bit of engagement. If you've not given StreamYard permission to see your name, then we might not see your name. So please say hi, and if you need to, we'll say who is it. Oh, Paul. I'm guessing that's Paul. It just says Facebook user, but he says it was great to chat to you last week. Brilliant. Thanks for tuning in, Paul. I'm going to bring Lisa on now. Hold on. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Sarah, you okay?
Yes, are you?
Yes, I'm here in the Maldives today.
Yeah. Well, Paul did last week stream live from Oman, so it is possible.
There you
But
go, yeah. No, I'm not actually in the Maldives, just my screen, obviously. But when I put it on this morning, it just made me think, oh, really miss that place. So, yeah, nice to chat to you.
yeah, so would that be your favourite destination then? Do you think the Maldives?
Do you know, it's probably one of the most relaxing holidays I've ever had. And I think a lot of people, before we booked it, a lot of people said, "Oh, will you not be bored?" Because we went for 2 weeks, and obviously we flew with. I've got two young children. I think they were 4 and 6, 4 and 7 when we travelled. Obviously it's long haul. It's quite a schlep with your young boys, but yeah, everybody was saying, "Will you not be bored? Just sitting doing nothing for 2 weeks?" And I kind of did second guess myself and think, will I actually be bored? But no, to be honest, it was the most relaxing holiday I've ever had, and I can honestly say there was so much to do that I couldn't have ever been bored there. So yeah, to answer your question, possibly, I say, because I've got so many amazing places that I've been to, and every holiday has different memories, and you like it for different reasons. So I'd say possibly one of the best places I've ever been to. Certainly one of the most
Amazing.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So where's next on your travel list?
So next on my travel list, so I think from my bio, if anybody's read the bio, I have a rule that you can't come home from holiday without having another holiday booked at least. So next on my travel list is we're going skiing actually next week. It's our half term next week, so we're going to Alpes d'Huez in the French Alps. I know nothing about skiing. I'm going for the après. The boys have been learning, and it's a bit of a different holiday for me. So skiing is the next, and we have a number of Greece jaunts this year. And Barbados is on the cards for next year. So I'm already always 2 years ahead when I'm thinking of holidays. um, yeah, just
Brilliant.
I think just because firstly it helps you budget for them, so you always find a way. Then if it's booked, you have to go. You have to find a way. And also you can just plan, a lot further ahead. I find that you get a lot of better deals if you obviously start your search quite soon, because the school holidays aren't always, you know, sorted and in line and all of those things, which you'll know from obviously, you know, searching for your clients. It's a case of you probably get the better deals if, you know, the further down the line you book. So yeah, it's always worth booking as far as you can in advance, in my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah, you can get really low deposits as well, so like
Yeah,
£99 per person, and that
it
secures it
helps.
then at
Yeah,
that price, locks that price in.
yeah,
So, and then quite often the balance isn't due until kind of 12 weeks before. So at
absolutely.
least, and those options, like I offer clients options if they want to pay in installments as well, if that's
Yeah,
easier, so they can
it's
make
really
monthly
helpful, isn't it?
payments as they go along leading up to the holiday, as long as that final balance is paid off 12 weeks before departure, that's fine, you
It's
know.
great.
So
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
tailor make it to suit, which is great.
Absolutely, and
Um,
that's one of the perks, I suppose, of booking with yourself is things like that. That you'll know the best deals, the lowest deposits, and also can kind of keep on top of either those monthly instalments or just those reminders sometimes because you forget everything, don't you? You know, life's
yeah,
so busy, so it's really helpful having somebody, you know, obviously like yourself who can help
yeah.
out. It's great.
Yeah, well, I also remind clients about visas and things like
Yeah,
that. You know, if you've
yeah.
got to apply for things online. I had a friend, one of the mums at school actually, who had kind of forgotten that I was a travel agent, and so she'd just seen a cheap deal online and booked a really last minute deal to go away for the Christmas holidays, and just to get some sunshine. And it was quite, even though it was a good deal, it was, you know, quite a lot of money. And she hadn't realised that the entry requirements for Spain had changed,
Oh
and
no.
that your passport has to have 3 months validity left on it in order to enter Spain, and that 3 months validity has to be from the date the holiday ends. And she
Oh
didn't realise
God.
that, booked it, and had, even though she had travel insurance and everything else, obviously it wouldn't cover you if if it's to passport or visas. Um, and so she turned up at the airport, checked in, and they went through the airport. They did all the, you know, having food and
Oh
drink and
no.
look around the shops, duty free. And then they went, and the little girl was really excited. They
Oh
queued
God.
up. First time they've ever done Christmas abroad. Queued up to board the flight. Mum's passport was fine, but the little
No.
girl's passport didn't have enough on it, so they wouldn't allow them to get on the plane because they said Spain have really clamped down on it, and they'd actually have just sent them straight back. Um,
Oh,
and she
like
was
one of your worst
absolutely,
nightmares, isn't it?
yeah, she was absolutely devastated. And
Oh,
that's one thing that I always say to clients if they're coming to me to book
yes.
for
Yeah.
a destination, then I always will say, you
Check
do
everything.
know that we can't travel freely in Europe anymore, and you need to make sure you adhere to certain rules and regulations and all of that. And I give clients that information, you know,
Oh
before they
God.
book.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No.
bless her, she, you know, she lost thousands of pounds.
And just the panic as well, like that just it just reminded me of I can't imagine how she felt when she got all that way across, especially when you're traveling with kids. It's stressful anyway. But we actually, when we flew from the Maldives to, sorry, from Manchester to um, Dubai, no, sorry, Qatar. We flew from Manchester to Qatar, and the plane was delayed taking off from Manchester, so we missed our connecting flight, and we literally had to run to the check-in desk. And I'd had all the passports together, and one of the passports had stuck to the other. Like we were literally on the minutes. We nearly didn't make the flight. And they said there's only 3 passports here, and my heart just sank because I thought one of my children's passports was missing, and I just thought, oh my goodness. They found it; it was stuck to the other one, but you could just, when you're traveling, you just want every little bit of the journey to kind of be right and be um, seamless, don't you? So
Yeah.
yeah, I can completely imagine her horror, and I bet she never books whoever she booked it with again. I bet she may have booked it
No,
herself.
she won't. She booked it online. So she said, "Oh, next time, Sarah, I'm going to just come straight to you
Sort it out.
and get
It's
you
that
to
well,
sort it."
it's the
You
peace of
know?
mind, but also I suppose booking with someone like yourself is it's that personal touch, isn't it, that you add,
Mm.
little packs for the kids on the plane and just holding your hand the whole part of the journey. It makes
Yeah,
such a difference, and especially when you're traveling, especially in these times when rules are changing. I'm traveling with children. I forget everything at the minute. If I don't write it down, I've literally forgotten it before it's kind of in my head. So yeah, it's great that you're there and you do what you do really, and help us
yeah.
all out who love traveling like us.
Yeah. Well, I do my best. One of my a friend I was chatting to about her next holiday actually just before I came on this, and she's a solo traveler, so she does a lot of solo travel,
Wow.
and she was saying that she actually loves the comfort of having me in a back pocket, so she
Yeah.
knows that if, God forbid, she loses a passport while she's traveling or
You've got yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
as long
yeah,
as she can remember and has my phone number saved, she knows that I've got scanned copies of her passport and
yeah,
everything else, and at heart moment's notice I can help her
yeah,
with it all.
yeah.
She said, and it just gives her that peace of mind that she doesn't feel like she's traveling on her own, she's traveling with me,
With
even
you,
though
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
only virtually
yeah.
there, you
In
know.
the suitcase. Oh, that's
So,
amazing.
yeah. So tell us more about the exciting places that you've been to with your
Travel too.
kids.
I suppose with the kids, I don't let kids hinder me, I suppose, when traveling. And I've always enjoyed taking them with me, whether it be long haul or short haul. I think for me, a long haul flight is no different than a short haul because the worst point of the whole journey is that before and checking your bags. So like checking everything in and the waiting around before your flight. And then when you get off your flight and you're waiting for your bags, those are the two most stressful parts when you travel. So I find that actually the bit in between the flight, the kids are so well behaved. They just sit down. We take loads of bits for them to play with, and yeah. So I love flying long haul with kids. But my favourite bit or my favourite holiday was probably the Maldives. As I mentioned, we had 2 weeks there. We didn't do a layover. We just decided to spend all of our time there because we'd done Dubai again with the children, which we loved. But we just decided to kind of put all of our eggs in one basket with the Maldives. So that was kind of massive tick off a bucket list, and also just a great holiday. Really great for the kids. Great kids clubs. I'm a massive fan of a kids club. Um, my boys have always kind of gone in wherever we've been, which is great because it gives us a little bit of a holiday as well. In the Maldives, I think it was open from 8 until 6, and they literally wanted to be in all day, and I kept dragging them out, saying, "I want to see you, though. I kind of want to see you a little bit." So, yeah, they loved that. Maldives was fantastic. Dubai is probably another place I love to go to with the children. Again, I just think from a family point of view, the hotels, the service, the facilities are fantastic for traveling with families. There's so much to do, and I mean, my boys are very active. They're quite physical. They want to be playing outside all of the time and playing in the water. So having the water parks and the all of the things at your disposal is really good. So we do like Dubai. We've been a couple of times, and it's on the list to go back to. Um, where else have we travelled to? Mexico. I like Mexico again. It's great facilities, lovely staff, very family friendly. We tend to travel quite a lot to all inclusive resorts rather than villa holidays, purely because this sounds really awful, but when I'm on holiday, I don't want to do anything. I just want to chill. And for me, having to think about, what to cook and having to, this sounds awful, but having to make the beds even, like, I just want a break from all of those jobs that you do at home. So I do like an all-inclusive holiday. I just tend to find, once you've paid for it, you're sorted for the week or the 2 weeks, and you can then start planning for the next holiday as well. So yeah, Mexico is kind of up there for us. Where else have we been?
Whereabouts in Mexico have you been?
We've been to a couple of places. We've been to Cabo, and we've been to oh, is it del Carmen?
Yeah.
Um, and where was the other place now? Just outside of Cancun as well.
I can never pronounce it. Yucatan, was it?
We have been there on a cruise, but we haven't stayed there.
Right.
But that's another the cruising as well. Actually, we haven't done it for a few years since COVID, but cruising was quite a nice holiday with the children, because again, the ships are all very well catered for kids. They tend to have a lot of English speaking nursery staff on there who are obviously all qualified. And they have night nurseries as well, which was like an absolute revelation when we went on the cruise, because the boys were only quite small. I think they were maybe, one was 18 months. And so they weren't necessarily sleeping through. And we took them to the night nursery on the ship. So maybe 6-7 o'clock, they'd take them, they'd put them into bed, they'd kind of take on their routine. Or for Josh, they'd kind of sit down and watch films. And we went for dinner. We had like dinner on our own, which was just a revelation. And we knew that, they were safe. We knew exactly where they were. We were all kind of on the same ship still and together. And really great. Yeah, I enjoyed cruising with the kids. We've done the Caribbean, I think mainly with the children, which again, just fantastic. Waking up in a different place every day, I'm a fan of that. I'm all for that, Sarah. So yeah, and then from a short haul point of view, I like to do quite a different holidays every time. So
yeah,
we ventured to Lapland last Christmas. We have where else have we taken the kids? We've got Iceland actually on the list. We've been. I know you're a real kind of Iceland pro, which is great. I've had loads of tips from Sarah for Iceland. So myself and my partner have been to Iceland, but it's on the list to take the kids back to kind of the Blue Lagoon and all of those places. I'm just trying to rack my brains. We do tend to frequent the Canaries quite a lot with the kids, because we do like a bit of winter sun and to kind of have a hotel that we've been to before. And just a short flight, little hop, don't have to think much about it, not much planning. We kind of like to get a few of those little holidays in as well. But yeah, I like to plan at least 2 or 3 holidays a year, which is we're lucky that we can do that, but I make it happen.
yeah.
Yeah, I book it and then find a way afterwards.
Yeah, I think sometimes, especially if you've got kids, it's easy to put things off, isn't it? And think,
Massively, yeah.
tell you what, we'll think about that later. And then by the time you get round to thinking about it, the price has shot up,
The
and you
price
might
of
think,
fun,
oh,
or yeah,
yeah, you
absolutely.
can't.
And also, I think some people do put you off traveling long haul with children as well. I think, it's good to have that bucket list, and kids don't really hinder that experience. They only enhance it, because you'd find yourself doing different things on the holiday. So yeah, I think for me, more long haul holidays. I think now that COVID's kind of out of the way and we can travel further and it is easier
Yeah,
again, some of the long haul destinations will be back on my bucket list as well. And now the kids are getting to an age where they, Josh is 8 this year, and to think about taking them on a safari holiday, thinking of South Africa, it just blows my mind, just watching their faces while we have those experiences. I'm really looking forward to kind of ticking more things off with them. Yeah,
Yeah, no, definitely, because that's on our list actually to take Aurora on a safari.
that would be amazing, wouldn't
Because
it?
yeah, because Pat grew up in Africa,
Did he
so
really?
his dad worked for United Nations, so
Oh
Pat's, for
wow!
anyone tuning in, is my husband. um, so his family moved around every 2 years from one African country
Wow!
to another. So when I was having childhood holidays, like caravanning in Wales,
Yeah.
in the rain, he was having weekend holidays on safari in wherever they were living at the time. So
Wow!
he's lived all over, Malawi, Kenya, like all sorts of different places he's lived.
Wow!
So like he went to a French speaking school at one point,
Oh my goodness!
and everything. So he's moved all over. So every 2 years he'd go somewhere new. So he's done most safaris. So when we first got together and I found out that he'd lived all over Africa, I was like, oh yes, we can go on safari. This will be brilliant. And then every time I've suggested to him, he's pulled a bit of a face because to him that was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
going on safari
Yeah.
again,
It
seeing
was
more
like going to a
elephants."
caravan, yeah, in Wales.
Yeah, yeah. And so I was like, great, brilliant. I thought, oh yes, I can go on safari with you. And anyway, now because we've got a little girl who's 4, and she's almost getting to the age where she could go on
Oh, she'll love
safari
it.
and
Yeah,
sit in a
yeah,
truck for hours in the
yeah.
hope of seeing animals. And she's absolutely animal mad as well. She wants to become a vet and
Oh,
everything. So
luckily she
every
loves the
game
elephant.
is playing with animals or talking about animals. So yeah, so now he's sold on the idea of planning a safari
I love
trip with
that.
us, so that'll be great. But yeah, like you, I really believe that travel can really help broaden kids'
100%.
minds
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
being immersed in different cultures, seeing different types of people
yeah.
and where they live and all of these things. Like, you know, we talk about all inclusive resorts and things like that, but I think
Yeah,
it's really valuable that, you know, they see different places and different cultures and meet different
100%.
people,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah, I mean, we took Josh. He must have been 5 at the time. We went to Naples, and we stopped off in Pompeii, and he still talks about all of the things that he saw there. He still remembers everything so vividly, and I remember at that point thinking I thought he would be too young, and I thought he would find it a bit boring. And he just embraced it, and we had one of the best days. Like I remember that day forever. It was so interesting and something that we wouldn't normally do. And certainly with children, you always kind of question, are they going to be okay? Will we then be okay? Because if they're not enjoying it, we're not enjoying it. But yeah, and he went back to school and told all of his school friends about everything he'd seen, and it is very special traveling with children. I've enjoyed it more and more, and the older they get in, obviously the different destinations we're going to. So yeah, it is nice. Um, we're planning a trip back actually too. We do like the Amalfi Coast, and we're planning a trip back there in April. And like you say, the boys just they pick up little bits of the language. I kind of make them order something and or say please and thank you as a bare minimum, but try and teach them some of the language as well so that they can order something off the menu. So yeah, I'm looking forward to heading back there and kind of steeping them in Italian culture for a week. And yeah, I think it's just invaluable, isn't it, really, for them?
It is.
Definitely all up for travel rather than homeschooling. That nearly killed me. Bless you.
Sorry. For anyone tuning in, I've had flu this week, so
You
put
need some
wake up
sun.
early to try and make myself more alive.
You need
Yeah,
to come to the
clearly need a
Maldives with me.
clearly, yeah, clearly need a holiday. Um, Yeah, but no, I definitely think it's really good for kids to travel. And what was really lovely, because obviously I know you know our kind of history. For anyone just tuning in now, one of the reasons why I've embraced travel and everything else is that we've always loved travel as a family. We've always done loads of travel and everything, and we were a big believer in traveling with your kids. I'm a mum of three. Unfortunately, my youngest is still with us, but all I've travelled with my children before their first birthdays. So both Violet, my
I think
firstborn, and
Violet's been to more
Aurora.
places than me, I think.
Yeah, I had been round the world before their first birthdays, both my
Yeah.
girls. And Violet, we took her over to New Zealand to see my brother-in-law who lives out there, and we went via Singapore. So we took her around there, and then en route home we went via Bali, which was our belated honeymoon. Um, and she just touched so many different people. And we took her to she went to Spain, we went to Ireland with her. And when she sadly passed away, they even had we were in Ireland for two days, like a weekend break in Ireland, and we stayed in this little guest house. I met a few people. It was really lovely, and they actually had when she died, they dedicated a mass to her at the cathedral
Oh,
where we stayed in Ireland,
that's
because
so
it had
nice.
that much of an impact on them.
Oh,
Um, and
that's
it was
nice.
just so lovely. And so there were things going on all around the world in these places that she'd been and interacted with locals, and touched so many people in a short life. And all of these memories as well are just so precious to
Yeah,
you, because
yeah.
no one knows what's going to happen
No,
next in life. And so to have precious memories, I think, is just priceless.
it massively is, and I remember. So my parents were always working when I was younger, and the only time that I kind of felt, that I remember that I had their attention was that holiday time. Dad was always he was just never there before we went to bed, and I just remember spending that time with him on holiday was so precious, and that's where I suppose my passion for holidays is, because I'm the same. I'm always, just a minute, one more email, and then on holiday, I'm me, and we have that time together. Um, and so, yeah, it really is precious, isn't it? Like you say, those memories, you don't know what's going to happen, and you kind of have to just do or pack as many of them in as you can, is my is my theory anyway. And seeing the world, while you're doing it is a bonus. But equally, we quite like to spend, quite a lot of time in this country as well. We have quite a lot of weekends away. I know that you do a lot of bookings for your clients as well, for cottages and, like holiday stays in this country. Because it's quite nice to just be away from home, but not
Yeah,
wholly, having to travel, if you know what I mean.
yeah, no, definitely. And we're planning to do more exploring the UK actually, over certainly in the next few years, because we realise there's loads of places that we've never
Um,
been to,
yeah, yeah.
because we're
And
always
people,
jetting off
yeah,
places.
yeah. Yeah, but I suppose it's the weather that hinders it, isn't it, slightly? But we've had some lovely weekends away in the pouring down rain, like because again, it's those memories that you remember, running to a car and forgetting your umbrella and all of those things. So equally, I think what I'm saying is I just like to be away from work and home and all
Yeah,
of the jobs, and I
like to be
really like.
somewhere different.
Yeah, yeah, I like to switch off on holiday, and I feel like, I really spend that quality time with everybody. So it's really important for me.
Yeah. No, definitely. I actually had funnily enough, I had a mum client last year who came to me and said, "Oh, could you do like staycations and things?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, well, I can do." And she was like, "Oh, great, because I'm trying to find like a lodge down in either Devon or Cornwall for me and my hubby. We've got a baby and a toddler." And we want obviously activities for the kids and things, but we're really struggling to find anything that would be perfect for us. Um, Anyway, I found an amazing deal, and it wasn't that much more. It was only like £10 more to have one that came with a hot tub.
Oh wow.
And so I said to her, I said, "Look, I can get you a hot one with a hot tub for like a tenner more. Do you want that?" And so she went, "Oh, go on then. My husband will moan, but let's do it." So I booked it for her and everything. And she when she was there, she messaged me going, "Oh my God, hands down, this is the most amazing thing ever," because we never realised the benefit of having a hot tub
Yeah,
within where we're staying. She said because we can put our kids to bed and then go and jump in the hot tub.
yeah,
We don't have to worry about babysitters and all of
yeah,
this. And it's like date night every night, and it's brilliant. Why did we not think of this before? And now that's the bare minimum that she wants when she books somewhere with a hot tub. But this
brilliant.
is the thing, sometimes you don't think like a parent, do you, until you've
Yeah,
experienced something, and then you're like, "Oh my God, that made so all the difference."
yeah, it
So
does.
from your experience, what would your top tips be if you're traveling with kids?
Traveling with kids, pack lots of snacks. Um, and I tend to wrap quite a lot of things up. So say if you've got, smaller little gadgets that they might fiddle with, I wrap everything up so that it takes them an extra 5 minutes to even open it. Just
Brilliant.
thinking of kind of staging everything. So wrap things up, pack lots of snacks, um, activity packs. So I know, Sarah, you include a lot of those with your kind of longer haul bookings, and which is really nice. Such a nice personalised touch. Top tips for travelling with kids. Oh, you put me on the spot here. Headphones. So taking your own headphones for the plane, so that they've obviously got them ready for their iPads. Um, we've never actually used. You know how you could get those blow up kind of bits to put under your chair for the plane. We've never actually used those because the boys have always been quite happy. They'll kind of, we tend to seat them together so they've got more space, and then they can kind of play together or spill out onto the floor. Plastic bags so that you've always got a bin. I'm thinking for the plane specifically right
Yeah.
now. Um, Kind of in resort and on holiday, just your basic things like your first aid kit, making sure you've always got some Calpol always helps. We were stung actually quite badly in, I think it was Dubai. Jacob was really ill, and we hadn't taken enough of his formula. He was only 5 months old. We hadn't taken enough formula with us, and they charged us for the tin of milk something like £55 because it had to be a specific brand because he was used to it. And oh my goodness, so always pack more than you think you need. I think from nappies. But saying that, quite a few resorts now and have all of those things on site. So you'll probably know, Sarah, be able to advise people, how much to take and what to pack, etc. But always more nappies and kind of formula than you think you need. Trying to think top tips.
Yeah, the other
Um,
thing that we um, made a mistake about that it hadn't even dawned on us when because obviously Violet was our first child, so it's the first time we'd ever travelled with a baby, and we went to Bali,
yeah.
and what it didn't dawn on us at all that you can't drink the tap water in Bali,
Mm,
and so making baby formula.
oh
You
gosh,
can't make
yeah,
it with the tap water.
yeah.
So we're having to get in bottled water
Oh
and heat
no,
bottled water to mix with the formula. for her. So we'd remembered to take enough powdered formula, but we'd totally forgotten about the whole water thing. And obviously, if you've
Nightmare.
got a baby, it can be a
Yeah.
bit of a nightmare in terms of, because we're having to try and bath her with bottled water because we didn't want to risk of, as babies, they just swallow it, don't they?
Yeah.
And you can't
Yeah.
explain to a baby, you can't open your mouth or put water in your mouth or all of that.
Oh
So
no.
that was the bit of a mistake that we made, was we forgot about that. Because I guess with
Yeah.
older children, they can have a shower and you say, close your mouth, you can't swallow the
Yeah.
water. But,
What a nightmare. Speaking of showers as well, one thing that we took that was really good was those little blow up boats that you can get, like a small lilo, because some resorts or rooms may not have a bath, and if your baby's only used to having a bath, thinking more from a baby point of view,
yeah,
those little blow ups are perfect because you can just sit them in. Even if there is a bath in resort that or in your room,
you use it
you
as
can
a
just
baby
plonk that
bath. Yeah.
inside. Yeah, so it acts as a baby bath. It's brilliant. That was kind of a godsend for one of our holidays. Lots of we take a lot of like small little cards, little toys. We pack lots of stuff in little pockets. And those colouring books that have no, you put the water in the pens and the kind of
Oh, yeah.
no
Yeah.
mess,
The
all
water
of those
ones. Yeah.
things. Yes. Um, and yeah, we take quite a lot of our beach toys with us as well to kind of keep them so that they're already there.
Mm.
And in the case, because the last thing you want, especially if you arrive late at night, you've then got to get up in the morning and go and try and find a bucket or a spade, or I mean, it's half the fun sometimes buying those things, but and again, depending on what holiday you're kind of on, just trying to be as prepared as possible, and think
Yeah.
of every avenue. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Brilliant.
pack less clothes than you think you need as well. You always pack way too many clothes.
Well,
Um,
well, one of my top tips goes slightly against that, but only
does
when it
it?
comes to hand luggage. If you're
Okay.
flying long haul with a
Yeah.
baby,
Yeah.
is make sure that not only have you got spare changes of clothes
Yeah.
for your baby in your hand luggage, but also for you and your husband in your hand
Yeah,
luggage.
yeah.
Be
That's a
my
good tip
top tip.
actually. I've been sicked on before, and yeah, we've travelled while Josh was potty training, which was very interesting, and we did learn a lot that trip as well. So yeah, that's a very good call.
Yeah,
Yeah, lots of wipes.
because quite a few parents that I've spoken to bring spare changes of clothes for the kids, but they
Kids,
forget
yeah,
about themselves.
yeah,
And like you
yeah,
say, if you get weed on, or
yeah.
I remember Aurora on a long haul flight from Singapore to Auckland. She must have picked up some kind of bug. She was only 8 months old, and she was just being sick the whole
Oh
flight. So it
no.
was like a 14-hour flight. She was just and there was turbulence. It was the worst flight of my
Nightmare.
life. Luckily, because we'd had previous experience of having a nightmare with babies being sick or whatever, and also I had one flight a long time ago where at the start of the flight we boarded the airline and sat down in our seats, and they came round with welcome on board drinks, and the cabin crew tripped and tipped a whole thing of fresh orange juice, all over us
Oh no.
at the start of a 14-hour flight. So we learned from that that we need to have not just one change of clothes for us, but
Yeah,
several.
yeah.
And thank God we did, because I wore all of my changes of clothes, all of the hubby's changes of clothes. Luckily, I layer up, so I had like a vest on, and then another top, and then a cardigan. And by the end of it, I ended up having to wear a sarong that I'd packed in the bag as like a pashmina, in case it was a bit chilly on the plane for the
Yeah.
baby
Oh
or
no.
whatever. Because that's one of the other top tips, pack a pashmina, because you can
Yeah,
use
that's a
it for
good tip.
anything.
Yeah.
I ended up having to use that as a top, and tying it on.
Bless you.
Um, and get when we got off the plane at Auckland in the middle of the night when it was cold. And thank God I did baby wearing at the time. So I also had a baby sling and she kept me warm because I had bare arms because I'd
Oh,
literally
bless
been
you.
through all of the clothes that we had,
Oh, bless
including
you.
all the in-flight blankets on the plane. And oh, it was just the worst
And I,
flight
oh,
ever.
that's another tip actually. When you get on the plane, I always get the blankets kind of straight away, and I always ask for extra before any of them go because they don't really once they've been handed out those extra ones, they don't stretch very far. So if babies fall asleep or your kids fall asleep, also an extra one acts as a pillow too. So I always ask for an extra two as soon as I get on the plane. Um, and also, I use the VIP lounges a lot at airports because by the time you've bought a drink and a meal anyway, it's one of those that if you're delayed, it's just another area to kind of contain your children and free Wi-Fi, food and
Seats
drink.
as well. Yeah.
See, yeah, because you just don't know what's going to happen with it at an airport. You don't know how busy it's going to be at the time you fly. Fast track. I know obviously with a pram, you go through with fast track, but I still book fast track now just to kind of keep us moving and getting us through. But generally, airports are very good when you're traveling with children, aren't they? They do recognise family groups and they try and
Yeah.
move them through. But I always book a meal on a plane as well, even if we've eaten at the airport. It's another thing for the kids to do, especially on long haul. If you think they get the meals first, they all come out. It's another half hour of activity where they have something in front of them, exciting, that's new, and they generally come with an activity pack. And if they don't eat it, I normally do. So I tend to book two children's meals. And just buy snacks if it's a short haul, just buy snacks. So yeah,
Uh, Amazing top tips there. And lounge access, totally agree with you. We've always booked lounge access, especially with babies,
yeah,
because by booking an airport lounge, you don't have to worry about heating up food, heating milk, a changing area being free, and all of that. It just makes life so much easier.
so
So
much
we've booked
easier.
them in Singapore, um, Bali, wherever we've gone long
Yeah,
haul, we've always
yeah,
booked lounges because even shower facilities as well.
yeah. That's
So
true. Yeah,
if someone accidentally cabin crew tips fresh orange juice over your head, like happened to me, if you've got a lounge with a shower, you can have a shower, which
yeah.
is brilliant.
Yeah, they're great. They all have kids areas as well, kids play areas, and kids snacks, and not to mention unlimited alcohol. That's not the reason at all that I use it.
Yeah, you don't worry about your kids if you're not unconscious, asleep.
Oh, funny. But yeah,
Oh,
I'm trying to think of any other top tips. I'll probably think of loads
yeah. Do
afterwards.
your
But
kids have little trunkies as well? Because I
yes, we
know
do actually.
yeah, Aurora's got a little trunkie that actually one of my friends gave me as like hand me down. She went, "Oh, does Aurora want this?" Like her kids are much older now. She said, "We found this. Does she want it?" And I thought, "Oh, we'll give it a go." Oh my God, what a godsend!
It's brilliant.
Like,
We have a trunkie, so we've got a Gruffalo trunkie, and we did have I can't remember the brand of it actually, but we did have like a scooter trolley
oh yeah,
thing, but it didn't corner as well as we thought, so there was a bit of an incident with that.
oh
But
dear,
anything that's kind of fun for the kids on wheels that can also help you,
yeah.
just helps that from A to B, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Because I know from experience, some airlines, if you're traveling with a toddler in a buggy, and you take the buggy to the gate, and they say, "Oh, don't worry, we'll give you your buggy back at the gate at the other end," and then quite often they don't. They're like, "Oh no,
yeah,
so it's on the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
carousel. We checked it all the way
yeah.
through," and you're like, "Oh!" and then you're having to run for your connecting flight,
Yeah.
carrying
Yeah.
said toddler
Oh,
who's refusing to walk. Whereas if you've got a trunkie, they can sit on
yeah.
the trunkie and you can pull them along. So absolute godsend. That
Yeah. Right.
and baby slings or baby carriers
Yeah.
as well
Yeah.
are absolutely brilliant, because when you're getting off a long haul flight and you're due to get on
Yeah.
another one, you're just exhausted, and the last thing
You
you want to
are.
be doing is lugging a heavy baby around who maybe is having a tantrum or whatever.
It's we were adverse to flying on a night flight up until quite recently, but actually I find it quite easy doing night flights. I know that some of the night flights you think, oh God, it's really unsociable hours, but actually the kids are naturally asleep then anyway. So night flights actually aren't as bad as you think or you envisage, and generally they're kind of cheaper as well from a price point of view. I just thought of one more as well then, and it's gone out of my head now. Um, yeah. So yeah, night flights are actually okay.
Yeah, I guess it depends what time you land at, doesn't it? Whether you have to kind of wake them up in the middle of the night to get off the plane, then
Yeah,
it might
that's
be a bit
true. But I don't.
of a
Yeah, I
nightmare.
don't. I really avoided them, but actually, as long as especially if you're doing longer haul, you've got to kind of have it in somewhere.
Yeah,
But pack shorts, that was the thing, swim shorts. We had an incident where our bags hadn't arrived at the same time we had. And the kids, of course, as soon as they see a swimming pool, they just wanted to be in it. So, just throw a pair of swim shorts in there. Especially if you go on a cruise, they keep your luggage as well, and they hold that back for a short period because it goes through a few scans. So kind of having a beach towel is, one of those travel towels that you can pack up really small, and a pair of swimwear, just so that if there is an opportunity for the kids to just get stuck in,
yeah,
they can take it.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
definitely.
yeah. Yeah. No, that was
And actually, adding to that, flip flops or
yeah,
something that they can
yeah,
wear, because I quite often take them to wear on the plane.
yeah,
And also then you've got them for when you get into resort or whatever. If your luggage hasn't arrived, if someone's lost it, you've always got sandals and your
yeah,
swimwear, so you can
yeah.
head straight to the beach or pool or whatever.
I was like, I'm
So
getting like, I really just want to be on a beach now, just talking about it.
I'm looking at you with the Maldives
I
behind you.
know.
It's
I
making me
know. I've
think
not
I want
been.
to go on a beach.
I know. I think our last holiday was July actually, which isn't like us because we've just moved house, so we kind of had a quieter year. So I'm trying to. Well, I'm hoping to make up for that this year and start traveling
Yeah.
ASAP. But a beach holiday, yeah, is on the cards pretty soon.
What quick last question. Um What place have you been to or activity that you've done that has really surprised you, where you thought, I'm not quite sure about this, or I'm not sure about this place or this whatever, and then you've gone and you've been like, wow, this is
I'm hoping next week when I go skiing. um, it only because I will come back to you. I'll answer you
yeah,
properly, but I'm hoping for next week because for me, a holiday is sunshine. It's about relaxing on a beach, and I'm still very skeptical about how long it will take me to get the kids dressed in the morning, how much they'll enjoy it. All of those things because it's an unknown to me. I've not really been on a ski holiday since I've been a parent anyway. So I'm the jury's out yet on that. So I'm hoping that experience will be incredible and that it'll be something that I want to do again and again. I suppose your original question, oh, it's really hard. I think maybe my first time cruising, maybe because it was
yeah,
something that I hadn't ever done before. I was I may have been like 22, 23, and it was something that my ex partner's parents had bought as a present. It was a case of, we're going on holiday, we really want you to come, this is what we're doing. And I was a little bit like, isn't it for really old people? Not really sure. And it was just incredible. It was absolutely sensational service, and waking up in a different place every day. We cruised around the Caribbean, and it was just it really did exceed my expectations. And I I I enjoyed even the small size of the cabins, and I thought I was going to get really claustrophobic, and thought it was just gonna, I just thought it was gonna be something it wasn't, and it did surprise me. And
Yeah.
following that trip, I went on a couple, more cruises across the world, really. So yeah, that did surprise me. But I'm hoping I can report back, and hope that the ski holiday will also exceed my expectations.
Yeah, because you had a good time in Lapland, didn't you? And that was
We
cold.
loved it. Yeah, that was kind of the decider for me. That actually, I think it's not just about what I want; it's about what the kids want. And because I had so much fun playing in the snow, it was just like, well, let's try it. Let's see. And they've been having ski lessons, and they've been really loving it. So yeah, Lapland was the kind of springboard into the ski holiday, because my partner skis, and he's been pushing me for years and years. And I said, no, I'm not doing it until, it's certainly not going to be my main holiday. And I think just now that the boys are at that age where, they can come down okay on the slopes, and yeah, I kind of started to come round to it. And yeah, so I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted
So have
on
they
that.
had lessons then?
Yeah, they've been at the Chill Factor. So Josh has been snowboarding, and Jacob has been skiing, and they're at a decent level now. They've only been doing it for a couple of weeks, but they're pretty good, and they've got no fear, have the kids. So and obviously the setup on holiday is that they go into their separate ski schools in the morning, and then we get kind of time on our own to either ski together, or do an activity, and then we can all meet up together for a meal at lunchtime, and then all kind of ski together, or do another snowy activity. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a real balance with that holiday too, of us time and time with the kids, which is
Brilliant.
nice. Yeah,
Sounds amazing. Look forward to
can't wait.
seeing all the pictures
I
and
know,
hearing how you
yeah,
go
yeah.
on.
I know,
Yeah,
it's exciting.
brilliant. Well, that's great. Thank you so much for taking
Oh,
the
thanks.
time
I
out
could
to
talk.
come on.
Oh, you're welcome. I could talk about travel literally all day. Like, I love
Me
it.
too. Me too. Me too. And apologies everyone for the sniffles, but
Oh, I hope you
yeah,
get better soon. You
thank
definitely need
you.
some sun.
I do, don't I?
Where's your
We're off,
next holiday?
we're off to North Wales next week.
Oh,
So
lovely, lovely.
whether we'll get the sun or not, I don't know. But it it might be blue sky and sunshine. You
It
never
will
know.
be. We'll
Chilly,
send it across
but
that way.
yeah, thank you. And then we've also got going out to Spain in June. Um,
Lovely.
I won at one of the travel agent events.
Oh,
I
wow.
actually won a prize of a few nights half board holiday to Portaventura
Oh,
in
lovely.
just outside
Yeah,
Barcelona, the big
yeah.
theme park where it's the Ferrari lands there and everything
Oh,
else.
wow.
And so we get theme park tickets and everything included. And I just won it at a prize draw, a travel agent event, which is
That's
brilliant. So
amazing. Was that
we
the event you were at in America?
no, this was the event in October.
Wow.
I just went. It was my first one at like a meet the agents event, so a meet the suppliers event. So they had various different travel suppliers there who were all presenting their products, and then they did a business card draw for like the 30 agents that were there. And I was one of the winners for one of the prizes. So yeah,
Wow.
so I won a trip to Portaventura, half board, for my family with theme
Brilliant.
park tickets. So we've just had to pay for kind of cheap flights out to Barcelona, which
Oh,
is
that's
nothing.
amazing.
And I feel, but the thing that makes me feel quite anxious is I've had to send our passports off for renewal,
Oh,
because of
no.
the Spain thing. That you have to have a 3 months
Yes, yeah,
validity on your passport in order to get entry to Spain. So we've sent our passports away. So I've been passportless for about 10 days now, and it makes me feel so anxious that I can't just get on a
yeah.
plane and
I
leave, and that's
know.
why we've not booked anything else, because I don't
Yeah,
want to tempt fate until I've got it back in my hand.
I was the same with Jacob's. His was up for renewal last year, and I didn't want to book anything because I just thought, well, we can't go without him. So yeah, but it came really quickly. Just to put your mind at ease, it came within about 2 weeks' time, I think.
Yeah, well,
So,
I've had a message saying they are printing it as we
oh,
speak.
great,
So,
great, book it then.
well, but until it's here, I'm not booking anything other than the trip we've got in June.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
lovely. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. And have a great time skiing. And
Oh, thank you.
hopefully
I'll
we
update
can,
you. Yeah, obviously,
yeah,
I'll,
hopefully
I'll
we
keep you
can get
posted.
together face to face when you're back.
Yay! Yay, I
Thank
can do a
you.
full lowdown. I'll be ski pro by then, a professional ski
Yeah.
holidayer.
Yeah. So everyone, if you need any travel advice, Sarah Stevens Escapes. If you're watching this on replay, please hashtag replay. Let us know. Ask us any questions. We'll check back and answer them for you. So yeah, feel free to share with friends, tag them in it. And yeah, I'm having a break from it next week because it's half term. But then I will be back in early March with the next Traveller's Tales with someone else again who is one of my friends, and again, totally different experience of travel, totally different type of lifestyle and everything else, so that hopefully you can get a real feel that I actually craft holidays for very different types of people and families and everything. So yeah, so thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. So happy flying.
Bye.